navigating life as a first generation immigrant.
Ooh.
And why I'm thinking about this topic now is because in 2 days it will be 5 years since I moved to Australia. So I've just been thinking to myself, how should I celebrate my 5 year anniversary?
Mm.
Mm.
At the same time, I'm also imagining what my life would have been like if I had stayed in Nigeria. So I'm just filled with gratitude. Like, it was crazy to come here, the journey where we don't take. And obviously I love hearing other people's stories because everybody's pathway is different. But we've ended up here.
Mm. Are you on mute?
I don't know, like,
You're
no, no,
happy.
no, I'm trying to, yes,
No, no, I
it's
think Adam,
emotional. Yeah.
it's just an emotional, conversation to have, especially looking back and being who you are, right from Zaria, to Madonna, to Lagos, to here, with all the things that you've able to accomplish, and looking back and the future as well, it's very, very emotional, honestly, I didn't even thought of, celebrating 5 years. I wouldn't even celebrate 5 years. I mean, I will appreciate God for where I am, but I think celebration probably will start when you start hitting that, 10, 15, 20 years, mark. Just like in marriages and relationships,
No,
right?
it's funny.
I think celebration or celebrating anniversaries, in marriages should start from like 10 years because you've been able to navigate, you know, succeed, you are patient, you've invested, kids have come, they've stretched the heck out of you, they've stressed the heck out of you, and then you guys are 10 years. That's huge. Like you barely ever see, I mean, people still divorce, right? You barely ever see people that have passed that 10 years milestone, you know, divorcing. I mean, there are, but the indices are minute compared to people that just got married, first 5 years. First 5 years is the craziest part. You see people,
Omari,
they divorce
they
in
pop
like couple
champagne
months,
every
one
year,
year,
oh.
two.
And I agree with Rich
You know,
I
100%.
I
Because
I completely agree
as
with
Praise was
Reed.
speaking, I don't know if I spoke to you about it, Matthew, but for me, honestly, I don't even celebrate years or months anymore. Like literally, there
that's
are
what
days
that,
I just wake up in the morning, open my blinds, look outside, and I'm like, oh fuck, I love this, and I'm happy, and that's it.
that's
Like
what I
literally,
mean.
that's it.
I know people that plan their birthdays every year. They put us on like WhatsApp group, they plan their birthday. And I know people that don't really care. Like every day is a celebration for them. You know what I'm saying? And I'm part of that people. Like every day that I wake up is a celebration. Like, oh, thank God, there's this thing happening. I'm blessed. This year I've gone and passed. I'm blessed. Let's look forward for the new year. You present your case to God. You work on the modalities to be better than who you were yesterday, and this year is gonna obviously be better than last year. You keep moving on. You are progressing through life. Eh, Every day is a celebration for you, and you make sure you kind of just continually win. That's to me
No,
is
but you
celebration.
see, and I agree with you. And another thing I feel is we forget to raise our heads because now I'm speaking for myself and a lot of you guys I feel can relate to this as well. Because we come here, we feel a responsibility on our shoulders. We feel like we have to do things to change things for our generation. We are forced to live that better life. So you come here, you're doing like two, three jobs. You put your head down, hustling, hustling, hustling. By the time you lift your head up, you're in your 50s, you're in your 60s, and you've not really enjoyed life. And why I'm saying that is because I'm looking at the people that have come before us. And I look and I'm like, when did you enjoy all these things you've gathered? It's their children that are enjoying it, unfortunately. And a few people take time out to enjoy their money and not just holidays. Like Emmanuel, you're saying, every day or maybe once in a while, when you feel like it, wake up and celebrate yourself, celebrate how far you've come. And this mostly applies to us because We work too hard, man. I believe
Yeah,
I believe we work too hard.
yeah,
I envy people that can just sit back and be like,
fuck
yeah, they take life
it.
easy. Yeah.
Yeah. So sometimes I look at my colleagues and I'm just like, wow, I wish I could think like them.
And that's even going to be like my next question, right? The corporate differences. Because now you just highlighted something. You see how you go to work, your colleagues will ask you, what did you do this weekend? Because they're expecting to hear something exciting.
Yeah,
They work 9 to 5. On Friday, for most of them, that's the end. Then they go and look for something exciting. We will work Monday to Friday. Then we'll go and do Saturday and Sunday shift. So when they're asking us, how was your weekend? We don't really have any exciting story to tell.
yeah.
And it's when I
They will.
started thinking about it. Yeah, you're going to say
True.
something.
Because like I feel like all those weekends are the time when you do all this like camping or focus more on your hobbies, right? And I feel like most Africans, because they spend those weekends working, and before you know it, they get married and they have kids, and then they go into that linear path where they really don't have the time to spend the money because the time they're supposed to enjoy that money, they're actually doing all the
And
shit during the
that's the worst
weekends.
time. And
And then
that's the worst time, when you have
it turns
money.
out that there's no hobby. Because if you think of it, look at all of us now, right? Okay, so Praise is in Brooklyn, he's playing soccer, right? So he will play soccer every weekend. But if let's say if Praise was in Sydney now and he was doing the regular irregular, it would turn out that the time we would actually do something, say 3 of us or 5 of us or 6 of us, would just be when we travel. Apart from that, we don't have any hobby that we would say, okay, Praise, Emmanuel, Adams, Hallyu, we do together. There's nothing. So it's like once every 6 months we'll travel somewhere and then that's it. And then we'll come back and then go back into the same routine again. And then now
You see, even
what
with
we have.
even with that traveling and getting to meet ourselves and doing our thing every 6 months, it's a blessing because not a lot of people do that. You know what I mean? And we have a common hobby, I would say, especially with three of us, we play tennis, in as much as
No,
you
that
guys
guy
are not
doesn't play tennis
as
though. That one with the
invested.
glasses there.
No,
Cannot play. Stop giving
even the
him
two of you are not as
credit.
invested as some of us are. But if we hang out with rackets, we can see hit.
That one do.
We talk, we play game. You know what I'm saying? We play. Adam loves board games. We play board games, we do trivias, all these kind of things are like things that we do when we sort of just, sit and just gather and just reminisce. But Adam said something that was very profound. He said something about, weekends, not being weekends, as compared to people that look forward to weekends. Um, I think we've had this conversation. There was a time we really said, look, man, we want to just, have a passion-driven career that will be the only sort of 9 to 5 that we'll do and spend the weekend, with kids and family. Things have changed. Dynamics have changed. We are not just singles anymore. We are now family men with kids. You have to be at home. You want to break bread with your family before you go to bed. You want to pray with them. You want to spend weekend with them. You want to take the kids to the park. You want to engage them. You want to be in their life. And if you don't intentionally make this happen, nobody is gonna make that happen for you. So this is the intentionality right there, and that to me is growth. So if you pursue money, 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 you get the money, and then you don't have the time to spend it. That is the real poverty. You don't spend money, but you make this money. That's the real poverty. If you don't have anything that makes this money for you, you have to be out there making money. That's the real poverty. It's when you kind of just sit at your home comfort of your house and then your business makes money for you. That's the life we are always. That's
Wait,
where we are living to.
thinking of
You know?
this now, if so, are we saying that most immigrants are happy? Are they happy? Are most immigrants like happy? Like, are they fulfilled?
Are you fulfilled? Let's start with you on the call. I
With
think
me?
it's yes,
So it
easy if
depends
we
on,
answer the questions. Like let's be
yeah.
introspective. Go ahead, sorry, you're saying it.
Me? Okay, should I answer the question I asked about being
Yeah,
fulfilled? So I
yeah.
think me being fulfilled might be different to another person, right? So for me, at this point now, I would say I am fulfilled looking back at where I've come from and how far I've come. I'll say yes, I'm fulfilled in most aspects of my life. Reason is because I'm grateful for like almost everything, right? And am I aiming for bigger stuff? Yes, fine and good. But I'm actually happy with the quality of my life and the fact that I'm able to do things I want to do. Not necessarily when I want to do them, but I'm able to do them. Just knowing I can do them gives me some sense of fulfillment. Yeah.
So,
So I think I
so
would say, yeah.
to So I wanted to, when you asked that question, what even came to my mind was the differences in both worlds, right? You know, you worked in Nigeria, small. I don't know, Praise, if you worked in Nigeria, but you know what corporate life is like in Nigeria. Like after work, you could go beer parlor, unkwobi. Like there was enjoyment because we didn't want to work crazy like this, or maybe the jobs weren't available or whatever. But I'm trying to think to myself, what are those things that I miss from Nigeria if I'm just trying to weigh the upside and downsides of both
So
worlds?
I think to answer that question, I think back home, I think that coming here, it's like taking somebody from bringing someone out of prison, right? And then everything is looking like surplus to them and they want to grab everything they see. So we've come out from a place where it was difficult to make money. Like it was very difficult, right? And we were thinking of making money all the time, but we're not making enough money, right? And then they now took you from that place and brought you to a place where it's surplus. You can make it if you all you need to do is sacrifice your time. Because of that amount of abundance they've exposed you to, there's no self-control now to say, okay. That's why you see immigrants working 3 jobs and you see Australians working 1 job because they were already in the system. So that I think so you saying that you miss like hanging out after work and all that stuff. If you think of it, right, you have enough time to hang out after work. You have more than enough time to do it every day if you want to. You can do it. But you're doing something else with that time. And that thing you're doing is you're chasing money. That's
Hmm.
why. If not, okay, I don't know of praise, but at least me and you work from home, right? They don't force us to go to the office. You have enough time to do whatever you want. Because you finish at 5 o'clock, you're not driving back home.
No, but
You can
that's
go anywhere.
that's what we're talking about, right? What's that thing that you want to do? Because I can't remember it now. Is it just going out? Like there was always something
You were
happening.
surrounded with family, familiar people,
Yes.
more. So you could go anywhere. That's just the
Nah, and
difference.
now it's just not. It was just that sense of you really don't have to break your back to pay your bills because you know that what you were doing at the time is paying your bills, and you can just make money somehow, somewhere. You know what I mean? And then the expenses that you are paying is not crazy. You paying your house rent once in a year. You've paid it already. You know what I mean? Cool, chill, chill, in the chill, and then there's no pressure. Like you are not looking after your parents, you are not looking after your siblings. Even when you are looking after your siblings, as long as you're in Nigeria, there's no pressure. You know what I mean? And then there's this. Nigeria has this atmosphere where you cannot even think of having a second job. What you can actually do is just like having a hobby that probably will fetch you money somehow, or maybe doing some sort of hustle, maybe just being a part-time politician and working full-time, whatever. So there's no pressure,
But
and
Chris,
then
we don't have that luxury. That's
the
the
work
problem.
environment is luxury,
The luxury was
you know.
never there. So think of it, right?
No, the
If
luxury,
we
it
had
depends
the
on it
no
depends
Chris,
in Nigeria, it depends
if we
on the
had the
kind of job that you
means,
do, then the luxury is
no,
there.
the jobs are not even there for you to have a second job. They were not there. Think of
There are
all
people
the
that work,
people that were
no, there
making
are
a lot
people
of
that work,
money in
there are
Nigeria.
people that
They
works
were not
two
hanging
jobs.
out after work.
No, there are
People who
people that works two
were
jobs in
making a lot
Nigeria.
of money were
People
not
in
hanging
hospital,
out every day
people
after
in
work.
pe-
They were
no people
busy
in
as fuck.
hospitality, people in hospitality works two jobs in Nigeria. There
In
are people that
hospitality, a
works.
good job in Nigeria.
That's what I mean. Like, no, chill, chill, chill. You are not getting what I'm saying. Let's not. detour from
No,
the actual conversation. Adam was asking about the atmosphere, what you miss working in Nigeria. I'm saying a lot of people don't work two jobs because not like the job is the kind of
me, I'm
job me and you
saying,
will have in the type of job me and you will have in Nigeria will be top level job.
I'm
If
saying
we
to
ever,
Adams that if the avenue was there for him to have two jobs paying reasonable amount of money, he would have done it. So
I
what
don't think
the
so.
behavior here
There was no
is will be
idea
the
behind.
same.
No,
I'm telling you,
it's
the
most
behavior
people.
will be the
Most
same.
I don't think so.
It's
I
just the
don't know
lack
a
of
lot of Nigerians.
opportunity
I don't know
to
a lot of
exhibit the
Nigeria.
behavior in Nigeria. That's
I
why he did
don't
not
know
do
a
it.
lot of Nigeria. I don't know a lot of Nigerians in Nigeria that are looking at having
So
two jobs. It's
okay,
never a.
let me
It's never a thing.
let me break it
It's
down.
I
it's
think
when
I
we come
think
to Australia
Can I give,
can
that
I
two
give an
jobs
just
example?
chime in?
Just one example before you chime in,
is
Adams.
a thing.
Here
Yeah.
my example. In Nigeria, somebody who works in a bank would never work in a restaurant as second job. In Australia, somebody working in a bank can work in a restaurant as second job, and the restaurant would be paying a shitload of money that he can actually use to do something tangible. So if you give the same opportunity to somebody in Nigeria to have those two jobs paying almost the same amount of money, I believe a lot of people will be working their asses off. Same way they're working their asses off here. I don't think the behavior just came out of nowhere. I think it's, yeah, I don't know. That's just my opinion.
I think what drives people to work two jobs is just the cost of essentials, the cost of community, the cost of things
No.
basically
Somebody
drives
coming
people.
from lack of comfort, we work two jobs, even if
No,
he's
no, no,
comfortable.
no. Just imagine having a job in Nigeria where one month they are paying you 500K and then your house rent is 1 million or 500K. You've already paid your house, you are making 500K a month. Like it's never I think say you work in Mobile, say you work in Shell. Why you have it? You work in top IT company, you work in a bank. You won't even have the time to even think of two
I
jobs.
beg you,
So
Adams,
if you want to have a
this
job
guy
or
where
if
they
you want to work
talk,
in
is his
Nigeria,
job not equivalent to mobile job?
Yes. So what I feel like what you're highlighting here, right, is community and that sense of community. You see how in Nigeria you know a wide group of people. So somebody somewhere is always celebrating something. So there's always something to attend to. And I'm just thinking about it here, there's really nothing besides maybe wedding. People don't even really celebrate birthdays like that. Like the
Hmm.
reason where there's not enough reasons for all of us to congregate besides weddings or like massive events. Maybe person picking birthday or person just born picking. Whereas Nigeria, we had that community where, just every day your sister they do party, or your sister, friend, neighbor, and anybody can
Do you know
come.
why? Because there's too
Why?
many jobless people. There's always
That's what I miss.
people doing nothing. That's
It's the
why.
opportunity to eat food. But you see,
People
that's
doing
one of the
nothing.
different that was one of my major culture shocks, right? Because I went
Yeah.
for I remember one Oyibo birthday party. They say, birthday party, come. I get to the birthday party, and me, I always go to parties hungry. I was in for a rude awakening. I saw
Hmm.
everybody ordering their food. They say, "Oh, go and order what you want at the bar." I thought they had paid the bar tab. Make I just go
prepared.
order food. Guy, I reached there. After I order it, they give me F post. Make I tap my card. I was like, "What the fuck is this? Why would you invite me to your party? I've driven, and then I'll now buy my own food at your party. I for in my house."
Do you know the shock for me? It's taking days off. In Nigeria, if you take a day off, there's always that friend who doesn't have a job or somebody that you spend the day with. Australia, there's nobody. There's nobody to chill with. Like even on your birthday, if you take the day off, you stay at home alone, doing nothing.
That community, no day. Hi, Wandy.
Hi, Wendy. You know, like another thing that shocks me in Nigeria is it is your birthday. You are the one buying drinks for people. You are the one cooking for people. Like it's just crazy. Like it should be the other way around. It is your
No,
birthday for crying out loud. People should look after you. Do you
I like that system. I
understand?
prefer that system.
No, Adam, come on. When it is my birthday, when it's obviously Ini's birthday, we know what we do to Ini. And then when it is mine, I know the kind of love you guys reciprocate these
It's
things.
so
The
I
gestures
did
be
mention that
reciprocated.
it's
But
two
it's just
things
crazy
that
when
I've
it is your birthday,
I
you're the
agree
one
with you,
breaking it.
Wandy.
What did she say?
It's the entitlement and expectation that people need to do something to celebrate your big day. No, dude. If you want people to be around, you need to do the due diligence, and it's everywhere around. Even in America. I remember
You
the
are a
last time when I went to go
host.
visit a friend of mine. Yes, you are the one who's hosting them. It's your big day. It's no one else. It's the
Nah,
entitlement and the expectation.
it
And also,
it
can I
doesn't
please
still
come
work
in
in
because I'm
both.
not feeling well? I just wanted to come in and just clarify from an outside perspective and a person from seeing friends who are all over the world and someone who's always visiting and spending like months and months on end with people. Um, Everyone has a purpose and a reasoning of why they leave their country. I can speak for South Africans specifically. Most of them is for studies, but a lot of them who leave are for better opportunities to help their parents out who are currently living in the country. So the aspect of getting multiple jobs is not just to sustain myself within the country, but to also sustain the people that I have to take care of back home. Simple example, I'll make a simple say with my cousin. I've got a cousin who has been in the US for the plus 15 years now. She has built her mom's house already by living in the US. She has bought her mom the car. She has paid her mom's debt completely. She has put her siblings through school. Mind you, this is a third born, not a firstborn. A third born who has put all her siblings, including the first and second born, through school. Um, and her purpose was, I want to make a life that's simpler and better for the family that I've left behind. And when it comes to aspects of living within America, because we are sociable people, she's found her own community besides the South Africans that she's met there, but she's met other people like Congolese, Nigerians. She's built that aspect of community and they create their own fun in a sense of they celebrate birthdays, there's occasions that they do holidays as well. But one thing she said the most is that when I was living in SA, I couldn't afford the luxury of going on a vacation. I couldn't go on a simple vacation to another province, state to another province, simple thing of another province, or even celebrate within my own province. However, the US has given me that aspect of privilege to actually do that. My friends from China do the same thing. They teachers in China. They've said the same thing that, dude, we've traveled to Thailand. I've traveled to Beijing. I've traveled even to a lot of American countries as well by just being in China and with my South African visa. As much as, yes, you need to apply for aspects of visas when you go to these other countries, but the luxury of actually doing things that you could not do within your own country comes with comfort. So I think it goes with the purpose, to be honest. And I believe in every aspect that you do, in everything that you do within life. I feel like all the milestones that you achieve, you should celebrate. Adams, your 5 years is a milestone. No one has reached 5 years within a country, and no one has succeeded in the and achieved the things that you have achieved within your lifetime. So I'd want to say that I'd rather you celebrate it and show other people that they can actually reach those milestones if they actually push ahead than you just shying away of not celebrating that, because it's your celebration isn't just I'm celebrating for myself, but you're motivating one other person who's looking at you saying, oh, okay, cool. Like this aspect, like this platform here, guys, this is a milestone. Building the community that you guys have built here is remarkable. No one has taken any initiative to bring a lot of people together. People make friends here. I've got a few people that I've met here that are living in Southern Africa that I've met already face to face.
Wow.
It's a community that you've built, that you have
Daper is
allowed us to
connecting.
engage. You guys have allowed us to engage, and also we meet like-minded people. At the end of the day, I didn't know specific things about specific other countries, but because I've met a lot of people who have schooled me about their countries, and they've taught me how to look at the country in a different aspect besides the what the media gives me, it has given another aspect. So even this platform is a milestone for a lot of people, because whatever you do here, it's not in vain. It's not the aspect of we just coming to just one person is here in the comment section and listening and saying, okay, I'm grasping this information, I'm grasping this, I'm listening to this. So those little things that you're implanting in people, it's a lot for someone else who's from the
So
outside,
we don't have to wait
who's
for
not
10 years,
living your
like
life.
Prince said.
No,
We
celebrate
don't.
every milestone that you guys are doing. No, you don't have to wait that. Like I swear, like this platform itself was something else. When I started joining here, I was like, oh, it's a bunch of guys just doing what guys do. They coming here to talk rubbish like normally. But when I started seeing the effects of it, when I started actually seeing the effects of it, I'm like, oh, okay. I can actually engage here. I can network here. I can actually find people who can assist me with the things that I need as well. I can actually meet cool friends and get friends as well. Because understanding the fact that not a lot of people a lot of people are, what is it, extroverts. They're not a lot of people are extroverts like me. They're introverts. So social media is a thing. Like
Yeah.
I'm able to talk on socials. I'm not able to talk to someone face to face. So meeting you guys on socials is like, oh my gosh, at least I've got friends now. I can talk to someone. I can just holler at someone like, how are you doing? Are you great? Are you doing well? And then just move in my little cocoon again and forget about the world again. And that itself is building a sense of confidence in someone. It's building a sense of self-worth within
Adams, it
them.
looks like you want
And
to cry.
No, like everything you're saying is touching me in the heart here. Like I really appreciate it. I swear because you see, sometimes we forget why we are doing stuff. We're just doing it, and at some point, it feels like a chore, and you'll be asking yourself, "Why am I doing this?" But hearing you say this, it makes it worthwhile. You know, taking out that 1 hour in our week, preparing for this conversation, sometimes trying to beg people to join the live. It's like, please, can you make out time?
no,
You
no,
know,
that's why
just so that we
that's why
can
I'm
give
saying that
value.
don't think it's in vain. Don't ever
Yeah.
think anything that you guys are doing is in vain. Take it from a person who has met people face to face from this platform, where we've just DM'd each other. Hey, are you in South Africa? Where are you? Namibia. Oh, let's meet each other halfway. Oh, I can come through to Namibia. Okay, cool. Let's meet up. We meet up in Namibia. We hang out. We have fun. We speak a lot of things. We even speak about the platform where you're like, oh my gosh, how did you find the platform? How did you find specific conversations? Where we even scroll through the videos that you've saved and be like,
Jesus.
oh, this conversation is so. No, they should have directed this. Like we end up becoming directors within this whole entire thing. Where we're like, no, but they should have navigated in this manner. They should have had. And within that aspect, you end up saying that, you know what, there's people who are like-minded here. There's people who understand the concept and understand what you guys are trying to achieve here with this platform specifically, even the community that you are trying to build within people. And you're actually even showing people that, you know what, you guys are not alone. We know that you're going through the struggle. We know that there's things that are going on within your life, but we are friends that you guys can speak to. You can come through here and vent and just cry yourself out, and then we'll support you the way we support you. Even if it's giving you encouraging words, we will do that just to show you that we are
Praise
here,
I
we are a
hearing.
community, and we'll work well. Like I love that about you guys, and you guys don't even shy away from when someone is actually in trouble, and you're like, okay, let's encourage this person, or let's give this person a person that they can connect to, so they can speak to. Most probably, this person would never get. I don't know how you guys get your connections, but yeah, you guys do the things. I'm sorry, you guys do the things.
Thank you.
Like you make the pots
Thank you.
pop.
Thank you. Somebody
Thank
said
you.
just stumbled
Oh,
on this and stop listening to you guys, learning one or two from this conversation. Nice. Oof.
See, I'm like, what you're saying reminds me of the training that I've had in the past 3 days. I was talking to Adam and Nini. I've been involved in a senior managers training meeting that I've just been having since on Tuesday, and they've taught us a lot. And in all of these meetings, what they've taught us is for us to be able to look after everybody else in the team. Be a listening ear, be a role model, be this, be that, be this, be that. It's just practically molding you to look after everybody else. And I asked the question, I'm like, who are going to look after the managers? If we are looking after everybody else, we are like umbrella. Who are really going to look after us? Nobody was able to answer. The answer, however, was you will look after yourself.
Deal
Your
with it. Amen.
friends, your community will look after you. And at that point, I did not know how to feel. So what we do is giving value. And I like the fact that someone from the community have come up and have given us our flowers. Like sometimes, like Adam said, it's really hard because like I'm busy. Adam is busy. Like we're busy. Everybody's doing their own thing, but finding out time to do what you love, just you are pouring. It can be very, very frustrating. Sometimes we have speakers, we go out of our way, we speak to people. 5 minutes to live, they will cancel. You start calibrating your mind, like, where am I going to start? And like
My God.
the beginning of this year, I'm just saying, you know what, we are just going to sit on that life and do us. We are not bringing nobody. If anybody comes, let them come. But sometimes you have specific topics, which I am not an expert on that topic. If we want to talk about counseling, for example, I'm not a counselor. None of us are. if you want to talk about investment, we've had our own share of good and bad investment. We can obviously bring our experiences, but if we want to talk about a particular subject matter, we need to bring an expert within that scope. We go out to get this expert, and then 10, 5 minutes they cancel, or sometimes we even pay, and the person brings value.
No,
Sometimes we
but
pay, like,
praise.
this is not what we
Now,
want.
let's go
Praise
back
is
to
vented.
let's go back to why we joined today, right? Basically, the reason, and there was something you said, Wendy, when you were starting this conversation. Praise, I completely agree with you, but I know that you're going down a tangent just to reel us back in, right? You said people
Okay.
have different reasons for leaving their country, and that's true. Everybody's reason is subjective or is unique to them. And I was thinking about it. I was okay. My intention was not to stay in Australia, was to come, do my master's, make small money, just enough, go back to Nigeria and start a business. And
Oh God,
then
Big
I'm
Brother
now
figure.
here. I've been here 5 years. I went back to Nigeria and I felt like a foreigner in my own country. Like people don't understand how much you change trying to adapt to a new environment. Now we have code switching. Sometimes it's easy to switch between here and here, but you forget yourself. I've been presenting at work, and the only way I could describe something was to use pidgin. And they're like, huh? What did you say? And I had to, oh shit, these people, these people are not Nigerians. But it doesn't capture the essence of the gist. Like English has its limitations.
Yep.
There's things you can say in pidgin that you can't say in any other language. So
Yep.
these are key differences and key things we've had to manage and balance to create this new life that we're experiencing. So, Praise, what are some of the
Yeah.
things that you feel? Yeah, you're going to say something.
Yeah, I think when they say something very, very important, I think that really resonated in me. And I would like the new set of migrants, the new set of adults, the new set of parents, to have a different mentality. Like there are people that move to just solely take and look after their parents and siblings. It's all good. I mean, we all look after our siblings and parents and all of that, but we should not have that mentality, growing, like moving forward. We shouldn't invest on our children for them to look after us. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be like it's sort of a trade and butter, because there are a lot of people, that kind of just like I'm obligated. It's like an obligation. I have to look after my parents. But there are parents out there that still look after their children and even their children's children. Like for example, like Tony Lumelu now, like I don't think any of his kids will look after him financially. You know, there are a lot of parents that are still looking after their kids even till their grandchildren. But I think with us, we should be financially smart to be able to invest so that our investment can look after us, so that we will not rely on our kids, because a lot of children have forgotten themselves. They've paused their career and they're looking after their family and their parents. And sometimes I get it, but it's something that it's a conversation that we will have in the future. It probably will be next week. Like what can we do differently from what our parents did? Because a lot of our parents, obviously, they did a lot.
I
Finances wasn't good at the
think,
time. Bad government and all of that. They got loans. They sold their houses. They sold their cars. To be able to get their kids to where their kids are, and their kids are trying to. But we are in a different world now. So
yeah,
we
but
should
Praise,
learn from our
there's
parents, and we
levels to
should try to.
everything.
Yes, so we should try. Like it is something that we should do. Like we are talking about we've been talking about retirement. What are we gonna retire? Like what kind of investment are we gonna do? Are we gonna repeat that circle where your kid needs to obviously get you to their house and then look after you, and then the circle continues? Because we are in a different world. We are in Australia, and a lot of kids kind of maybe visit their parents during New Year and their birthday. That's it. They are all in nursing homes. But it's not like that to us because I mean we are Africans and the sense of community is different from what they know. But I think it's a conversation that we should have and maybe get
I
a
think it's
subject
just
expert to
common
discuss on it.
in countries where people are poor. That's all. So it just gets better over time, right? I think my dad did better than his dad, and then try to ensure that I do better than him, and then you ensure that your kid does better than you. So everyone becomes less dependent on the kids. I think that's just but looking after looking after family, I think it's for me. I think it's like something to do if it needs to be done, and
Definitely, for
then
sure. Yeah.
try to make sure that the next generation doesn't have to do it. How do you make sure they don't have to do it? For example,
That's the
if
co- that
you
that's
have
the that's
kids,
the conversation right there. Like
right?
retirement,
So
making sure that this generation that we are now, not like the baby boomers and all of that. That's our parents, like Generation Z and the
well,
millennials.
yeah.
Doesn't have to. Their kid doesn't have to look after them
So
financially.
so
In that
yeah.
sense.
So I think as an immigrant, your cross is just different from someone who was born here. That's the reality. Yeah, and sometimes you can use it to your advantage because you come here with hustle spirit. You can make more money and be more successful. You have more drive to do stuff compared to someone who was born into comfort. So I think you can use that to your advantage. And then having all those responsibilities is what expands your, what you call it, your vision, right? To be able to acquire more so you can help. Again, that would still, so for me, I see it as an advantage, to be honest, right? Because your kids are going to be comfortable and there wouldn't be any, because there will be very low pressure on them to hustle. There's a high chance they might just settle for something very small and be okay with that, and then grow old and be frustrated. That's the way I see it. I'm just giving an example. Comfort breeds lazy people. That's how I see it. But yeah, I don't know. Wendy.
Sorry, guys. I'm gonna jump off soon. I just wanted to say, with your statement of saying that it's poor countries, I beg to disagree. I feel like within the Black community mostly, we were built and raised with the concept of Ubuntu, meaning uh, you help another person or a community. Ubuntu means community basically in aspects. So when you are raised in a home where you know for a fact that leave your parents' struggles, you know for a fact that your parents have done everything for your siblings, and in your head you are wired to saying every achievement and every good thing that has happened within my life, even if I've worked 10 times hard, it wouldn't be possible without those individuals. So in psych, you psych yourself as an individual stating that I need to help them out, or I'd want a better life for themselves, like a better life for them than how we were living. It's the same aspect with our kids. When you're raising a child, you look at your life and you're like, I don't want the same cycle to go with my own kid. I don't want my child to go into aspects of poverty. I don't want my kid to struggle in life. And it's something that you psych yourself out that you need to unlearn. It's but also our upbringing has a big influence. I'm sorry. I can tell you right now, I was living away from home. I got pregnant. My mom was like, "Come back home, dude. Like, I don't understand. Just come back home." I came back home, and I've been so comfortable at home where even now when we're speaking about the fact that, oh, dude, you need to build on top of the land that you got, and I'm like, nah, dude, why am I building when I'm comfortable here? Um, I am able to help out here. Like living here within the 9 years, I was able to pay off my parents' bond. I was able to pay off utilities just living at home, mind you. I was able to pay off utilities. My company, it's easy for it to sustain income because I'm at home. I don't have to look after other things. And I'm not saying that that's the correct mindset, but also
But
the way we are brought up and the way we are living and the sense of comfort is what determines how our mindset is going to be raised, especially the kids that we are going to be raised as well. And I've also understood the aspect of this day and age is that there's things that I still need to unlearn that my parents have taught me, that I don't instill the same things within my own son or the kids that I'm going to bear within the future, if I actually even bear kids. Because right now,
but
anyway,
Wendy, just to add to what you said, to correct
Mm-hmm.
what you think I said. When I said it's more common in poor countries, it's because most people who migrate from Africa to Western countries, they're not leaving Africa because it's boring. They're leaving because it's poor. They don't have money. So they're
Sure.
sacrificing that happy lifestyle to come here and hustle. So it means everyone you're living there is poor or not doing so good. So what's the next thing, right? You're sending money back home. That's why if you
Sure.
look at most Western countries, Africans are the ones that remit the most amount of money out of the countries. Why? Just sending it back. Family support. So but then for somebody who lives here now, saying, how do you help your parents? Money may not be the aspect. It might be your time, spending time with them, coming to spend the weekends with them. It could be anything else. But
Sure.
as immigrants, you can't give them that time. The only thing you can give them, because they're far away, is money. Or you bring them here to come and stay with you. So I'm just trying to correct what I was saying,
Okay,
right?
no. That's no problem. No problem. I'm here at that. Guys, Adam, please go back to your question because we skipped you right through.
No. Like, I'm enjoying it. Like, you see, I have questions I was going to ask, and when the conversation touches on those questions, I let it flow naturally. So one of the questions I had was differences between immigrants and their kids, and you guys naturally just entered into that conversation. So it was a smooth segue. And Taslim here highlighted a very key point, right? Kids born here, they can't hustle the way we do. And that's one of the key differences between us and our children, or that will be, why do we need them to hustle like us? Why do we feel like that lifestyle is the one? This is just me asking it aloud. Were we put on this earth to just come and work, and hustle and acquire and build and then just die? How,
No,
how many things do we get to truly enjoy? Emmanuel, you're saying something.
I think human beings have always been in competition, regardless of the era we've been in. There was always competition for everything. So if we put our kids in Australia and we don't give them the hustle mindset, right? So let's use Chinese people as an example. The population here is growing massively, right? So if it keeps on growing like that, you find out that immigration and all this other stuff, it would end up being controlled by another race at some point. It may not be white people controlling Australia anymore. It might become maybe Indians or Chinese people. How do you think your kids would navigate that whole system that will be controlled by another race that looks down on them if they've not built enough wealth? Because money is what gives you respect, right? So if they keep seeing Africans as poor people and then migrants and all that stuff, I think it's not going to be, it wouldn't be well with the kids. So what Teslim is saying is, if I'm getting it correctly, is if the kids also have the same hustle mindset to build enough wealth to the point where Africans start owning big businesses in Australia, then there's the respect there. And then when you're trying to bring in people, they're not thinking you're bringing in peasants to the country. But now, if you try to bring in an African, it's like, oh, you're bringing a poor person to the country. That's the way they see Africans. It's sad, but that's the truth. Or am I wrong? Praise and Adams. They don't, they wouldn't, yeah. And that's even like with African countries, again, they still see African countries as poor countries. That's why they treat Africans like shit outside. That's the reality. So, how do you get that respect if your kids don't grow up and become like successful people in these countries?
You see, I feel like, and this is just me playing devil's advocate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Respect and validation, sometimes people interchange them. So if somebody thinks you're poor, it's not disrespect, it's their thought process. How that impacts you is you now seeking external validation. So this is me playing devil's advocate, right? Why do we care what other people think?
We care because what they think translates to how they treat you. Good example would be how they will treat you at immigration in a different country, right? Is solely based on your skin color and your passport. And that is because of the thought they already have in their mind. who is most likely to, if something goes missing somewhere, who is most likely to have committed that crime? Who do you think they will go to first? Who is the first suspect? I don't have to say
Valid,
it out loud, but
valid points. Yes.
you get what I'm saying, right? But if those people, right, should get to a point where, think of it, if Africa becomes like Wakanda in Black Panther, how do you think people would treat you when you travel out? Exactly. So it's not like validation, it's just reality, right?
So that goes back to what we're saying. Immigrants have a responsibility
Yes.
to acquire and amass as much wealth as they can.
Yes. You have to sacrifice for the next generation. And that one has to sacrifice. They have to continue until they become very comfortable. We have
But
3 minutes.
also, guys, I feel like you guys also, as immigrants, you always have to prove a point within a different country that you come in. I'll make a simple example. Remember the crisis of xenophobia in South Africa?
Yeah.
Remember the aspect of it was always the initial conversation was good. They coming in to take our jobs. They have the skill sets. They have this. They have that. That was always the foundation of the conversation, which wasn't the actual aspect of it. However, also understanding that when you go into a specific country, you're bringing in a skill set that most probably 60% of the people in that country don't know it. They don't have those skills. They don't have that mindset. They don't have how you think at that moment in time. So you will forever be a threat upon anyone who lives within that country. In a sense of you being a graduate who has what 16 masters. I'm just making an example, guys. Hypothetically, you have 16 masters. You are skilled set in programming. You built the wildest program ever that no one can actually hack. You're the only one who has the programming aspect of it. You're the only one who can actually do wonders within that whole
Guys, we have
project.
2 minutes remaining.
No problem. You being in that country, if you being in that country, you're not automatically a threat. So being there is you need to know that if you're working through, your kids need to work harder in every aspect to carry on the lineage that you have built within that country, because you've started something and everyone else is going to be crucified after you. Every generation after you is going to be crucified by what you had created at that moment in time. I think that's my departing part.
Yeah, Adams,
Thank
wrap
you.
up. I have
Oh, they are doing countdown for you.
me.
Um,
I have
let's
something
leave him.
by 10
He's
o'clock.
going to sleep
It's
soon.
not
Me,
sleep, but I actually
man.
have work stuff to do by 10 o'clock.
Yes, Wendy, thank you. Like you see, for me, I like having these conversations because we don't have the answer, right? And it's when you're having the conversation, people are having different dialogues. You're like, huh, light bulb moments, then you write it down. So far, my number one lesson that I'm taking away from this is immigrants have a responsibility, because I've always been asking myself, why am I hustling so hard? Like most of us, we are working like we're orphans, like our parents are not alive. It's the truth. And I'm like, why? So this is the why, because we have that responsibility. We need to earn the respect of the world. And you can't do that without wealth, without money, without impact. That's a valuable lesson. So this 1 hour conversation was worth my while. I hope you, the viewers, learned something. And Wendy, thank you so much for those kind words. Like that really means a lot. Sometimes your fire will be dying, and then somebody will just come and fan your flame, and that's what you just did for us. So thank you.
It's a pleasure, guys. Please stop doing this. And if you guys run out of topics, allow us to run the platform for you, because we always
Correct.
have topics. And also understanding the fact that we are Africans, guys. It's not just Nigeria that's here. There is Southern Africa, there is Eastern Africa as well. So there's always dialogues within all these countries that can actually assist and educate
Guys,
people. Because one thing we don't do, give us any.
problem is I'm the one hosting it. I have to
So,
end it.
so all right. Please send in your topics, like you just said, Wendy. Any topic, any idea you have, send it to us, and then yeah, we'll flesh it out. Let's make it happen.
I'll run
Love,
the platform
peace.
for you. Me, I don't mind.
Ah,
I don't have your time.
correct. That's what we need. You're running next week.
All right, guys. I'll leave
Bye.
my thoughts till next time. Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.